Welcome into Jags A.M. It's June 9th, and here's a live look at mandatory minicamp. Everybody's here today as we kick things off, a 3-day mandatory minicamp for all the players and coaches on hand as well. I'm Kainani Stevens, Sexton and John Oehser. We're always here, but it's good to see the players are here as well. And we're going to go over our big things today. Obviously, the show brought to you by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Big thing number one is minicamp. Now, John, you are the wise one of us, so please explain what is the difference between OTA and minicamp.
Well, if shopping is a pleasure at Publix, then being here at minicamp is a pleasure for me.
Sure is.
It's look, there's really no difference, Brian, between OTAs, which are organized team activities, and minicamp. It's all unpadded. You can do 11-on-11 work and 7-on-7 work. The difference is the mandatory part. You have to be at minicamp if you're a player for these 3 days. You don't have to be at the others. Realistically, these days, especially in Florida, most guys are at the OTAs. And you might have an absence or two, but there's really not that much difference. It's 3 practices out of the 13 that they get in this format. I guess the biggest difference is fans on Wednesday. Yeah. It's open to a portion of the fans.
It's a little longer too, right? I mean, during OTAs, I think they're on 6-hour clock that they can be here, and I think it's pushed to 9. Could be wrong on that, but it's a little bit longer. It's a little more like a training camp day in that sense that they have a structured schedule that goes into the afternoon. But there's really not a lot of difference in this. It is a good opportunity when you have everyone here, Kai, obviously, to work to get everybody on the same page. Although I think they've been really happy with the participation rate of the OTAs. So this is just a different week.
Just another day. Yeah, I think they've had almost 100% participation as it is. Anyway, we'll go to our second big thing, which is what to watch. So, Brian, we've been here for the past couple of weeks watching them in OTAs, but do you look at anything differently, or is it just like, do you try to move around to different groups? How do you analyze minicamp?
Well, listen, I get bored watching receivers catch the ball. I mean, which is about the only dramatic thing that happens on the minicamp field. So
you must be really bored.
Yeah, well, listen, I go around and I know you can't judge the offensive line. People roll their eyes, but I like to look at the combinations, right? Who's playing left tackle today? How many young players are mixed in with the first group, trying to get them some reps there? I'm looking to see how the coaches are using players. Again, it's a minicamp setting, but just looking for combinations and trying to get a feel for what they might think. Until we get to training camp, this is for them, not for us. And from that perspective, it's just about trying to figure things out and a mental exercise, John.
Yeah, and that's really the best way to put it. It's every year on these shows, I kind of joke about the meaninglessness of OTAs. And when I say that, it's meaningless for us in terms of evaluation, realistically. It's not meaningless at all for the players and the coaches who are out there, because they're learning, they're trying to get ready. Where it becomes meaningless is when we, as observers, try to draw something. Oh, he's going to start. Because you really can't see that from this. What do you watch? I try to watch wide receivers because that's what you can actually see. You watch for the quarterback to really know what he's doing, which Trevor looks like he does. You look for speed, you look for quickness, etc. And then you look through it all with a lens of, okay, now I see this. Let's wait till the pads come on to where you can come sort of close to judging anything that's going on.
We're to our final big thing today, which is sneak peek, because as mentioned, John, fans are going to be able to attend minicamp tomorrow. And I know we've seen a lot of it, but there are some new things for the fans to see, one of which is certainly Brian Thomas Jr., a little bit of a resurgence, and also just that chemistry building with Trevor Lawrence. So if you're a fan coming tomorrow, what are they going to see on the field?
Well, I think it's what people look for. It's rarely in OTAs or minicamps do you get such an obvious story. And Liam Coen and Trevor Lawrence have sort of helped that be a story by acknowledging, yeah, we're trying to get on the same page with BTJ. That's a priority. Liam has said he likes it. He likes the work that's being done. So watch for that. BTJ's look very good. Parker Washington's look very good. The receivers have a very good rapport with Trevor right now. That's something to watch. And Bayshaw Tutin's fast.
Yeah, he's really fast. So. I think if I were coming out to sit in the stands based on, what I had seen from this team since the end of last season, I'd be looking to find out about these tight ends. You keep hearing about 13 personnel and how the tight end package in the league is growing across the league. Everyone's wanting to try to replicate what the Rams did. Let me see Borkature and Koziel. Let me see the two young tight ends. I listened to a podcast last week all about the resurgence of the tight end and where they're going. And so I'm going to watch that because I think it's pretty interesting. I also hear they really like what they've seen from the young defensive tackle from Texas A.M., Albert Riggs. So let's see what he's got as well. Look at the young guys. Just get a feel for them.
Absolutely. We'll have those available today, and we'll have a live camera throughout practice as well. So stay with us here on Jags A.M. We're going to do a little this or that after the break.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
A bold change. A historic development is underway for the Bold City, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and team partners are a part of it. Introducing First and Forward, a development partner program highlighting the significant contributions made toward the transformative efforts to the city of Jacksonville. Thank you, Belter, Brooks Building Solutions, Jackson Electric Supply, Office Images, Sims Crane, Start Tech, and People's Gas, championing progress on the field and in the community. The First and Forward program, the First Coast forward together. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/forward together.
All right, Jacksonville, listen up. When your AC quits in the Florida heat, who do you call? When the power goes out in the middle of the night, who do you call? When your water heater floods in the garage, who do you call?
Call the Donovan brothers.
Donovan Air, Electric, and Plumbing. Call 904-270-COOL. That's 904-270-COOL. The moment you drop off donations at a North Florida Goodwill, your things start new lives. A donated jersey helps someone suit up for success through education and training. A pair of old cleats helps a job seeker step confidently into new career opportunities. Every donation fuels Goodwill's mission to provide education, training, and career opportunities, removing barriers to employment and building brighter futures across our community. To find your nearest donation center and learn more, visit goodwillnorthfl.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives. At GEHA, they stand behind their members because they were founded by members. So with zero shareholders to mind, GEHA keeps their members in mind by offering a health plan for every stage of life, plus hearing and fitness discounts. At GEHA, one thing is clear. Your health isn't their business, it's their purpose. That's why GEHA has been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. Visit GEHA.com to find your federal health plan.
To everyone who thinks bold burgers are worth celebrating, let our team member Isabe tell you about the Colby Jack Pub Burger at Culver's.
I could talk about this pub burger all day, but a guest said it best.
This is the best burger I've ever had.
That's why it's back now for a limited time. Fresh beef, Wisconsin Colby Jack cheese, crispy onions, and zesty A1 pepper mayo.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Back into Jags A.M. Travis Hunter working off to the side there as he continues his rehab process after knee surgery last season. He's about as involved as you could physically be without doing the drills themselves at this point. He's like, runs up, he's in the huddle, he gets the play, like sets up. He just doesn't always run every single drill. He's still involved, but
yeah. For clarification, right now they're warming up. So, so they're not seeing that. Yeah, we've been to 2 practices. Yeah. Each time, as Kai said, he's in the huddle. He's got a play sheet. He breaks off and he simulates as much as he can. You can't say that he's not trying to be involved with this. And all reports so far is they're very pleased with his approach.
And you heard him talk about the weight room and how he spent so much time in the weight room. And it's good to see because he's not a huge guy. And in fact, his legs always looked small to me. And to hear him talk about the time that he spent in the weight room, he's a great football player. And now I think he's got a chance really to hold up for an entire season when he's got that kind of strength added to him.
Yeah, and we think he's on track with everything, should be available by training camp, so be ready for the season. We're going to do a little this or that today as we kind of look ahead to training camp, what this team might look like going forward. So Travis Hunter will be coming back, still will be involved in the offense, but what's the pass catcher situation? Obviously, Parker Washington had a huge breakout last year, but Jakobi Meyers coming in mid-season, a very much trusted target of Trevor Lawrence right out of the gate. Who do you think is going to be the top pass catcher at the end of the season for the Jags?
Whew.
Or someone else. Could be another name to be named.
We've heard about Brian Thomas Jr.'s resurgence, and he's obviously a very talented guy. Let me put my money on Parker Washington, because there's been talk about getting a deal done with him, John, and they obviously haven't agreed to terms, right? So Washington is, in a sense, betting on himself this season. He needs to have a big season to get the kind of money that he thinks he's worthy of. And a lot of other people seem to think that he is as well. He was your go-to guy last year down the stretch. The game in Denver really played that out. So I'll go with Parker Washington, because he's always surprised. Every single time that you expect him to make a play, he makes a big play.
Yeah, I think this is a situation, I agree that Parker is wise to bet on himself, and I think the Jaguars are wise to let him bet on himself, because I don't know that you know exactly his value based on uber production at the end of last year. Is that going to be consistent? I think ideally the Jaguars people love the fact that question is there, because I think they would love for people not to know who the top pass catcher is going to be. I think their ideal would be each guy, I don't know what the numbers would be, each guy catching 53, BTJ, Washington, Myers, Strange, with Hunter catching, if they could get that sort of balance, I think that's what it's going to be. Who's the top guy? I would love to say give me 4 guys catching 55 with BTJ having a huge YPC. That's yards per catch. For
this stats guy over here.
But for the sake of argument, I'm going to go with Jakobi, because I think he may be the wide receiver consistent guy with everybody else making big plays around him. But I think out of those 4, it's going to be really, really close who the top guy is.
Well, they gave Jakobi $20 million, so it tells you what they think he is.
I think the dark horse here, and I don't think he will necessarily lead this year, but I think Brenton Strange is going to have a big impact on the offense this season, and I think going forward as well.
Yeah, the tight end thing, adding the tight ends as rookies is, by flipping or whatever you call it, it's going to really help Brenton Strange be a premier elite tight end. You may see him all-pro, Pro Bowl type guy with the opportunities he's going to have in this offense.
In terms of competition, that's always what we talk about in training camp. Different position groups have different levels, of course, but I think one of the more packed rooms for me is the defensive backs, but also the defensive line. There's a lot of additions, some of them undrafted free agents. We saw some success from the undrafted guys last year, but they added Albert Regis to the defensive line this year. Those are just 2 groups I had in mind, but who do you think is going to be the most competitive, or what do you think is going to be the most competitive position group when it comes to training camp, John?
That's a good question. I would say I'll go DB here, because I think how it looks is maybe going to be the most interesting. I don't know that competition, I don't know that there's going to be, oh my goodness, this guy got cut during camp, I'm so surprised. But I think how it looks is going to be very interesting with safety. Antonio Johnson, Ransaw, and Eric Murray, how that looks. I think those are going to be the 3 guys. I don't know that it matters to them who, quote, starts, who wins the competition to be a starter. I think realistically you're going to have 3 starters. Travis Hunter, how is that going to look? Travis, with Monteric opposite, Jarian and Jordan Lewis might be the good competition back there. Again, I think they know their bunch. How does it look will be interesting in training camp.
I'll go with the defensive line. Regis, I screwed that up in the first block. Apologies to the family. Albert Regis. With rookie Row. Got that one right, yeah. Those 2 guys coming in create a different dynamic behind Devon Hamilton and Eric Armstead. And I like the depth that they've created there. And then obviously you know what you've got with 41 and 44. And you add Strigal and Green back to the mix this year, and both of those guys look a bit bigger, have looked, again, against air, but explosive, like the weight room has been a gift to them. And now you bring in Wesley Williams, who is a big guy and plays hard. I mean, the way that he practices, I expect that's the way that he plays, and that is effort, effort, effort. When you've got a group like that, I think that's going to be a really competitive room.
And I'm drawing a blank on the 7th round pick from Washington.
Me too.
Again, drawing a blank.
We're still learning.
They're Green and Striegauer were big stories last year, and in a lot of situations that I've been around, the team would have assumed that those two guys were going to develop and were going to be like the third defensive end. This team doesn't take that approach. So Striegauer and Green, good stories, who both can play in the NFL, by the way, and I think both are going to play a long time. They are going to be pushed, and that's the spirit of what this team tries to do. They do not allow complacency.
Durfee's Prospect X, which was the player that they were kind
well,
of...
Prospect X is what threw me. That's why I couldn't come
Yes,
up with
I mean,
it.
all the mystery
Right.
shrouded around him. But the most underrated prospect, according to UCN.
And on this show, evidently. So,
And
and apologies to Prospect.
Well, so clearly, one of our missions this week is to get to know these guys, these young guys, and put names and faces together so that when we get to training camp, we know Project X.
Let's talk a little bit about expectations. Obviously, well ahead of what was probably expected out of Liam Coen in his first year as a head coach. But what's reasonable to expect this year? Is it just getting into the playoffs? Is it having a better record? Because 13-4 is pretty hard to outdo. Because, John, I think we've talked about this a little bit. It's almost like they might be better but have not as good of a record this year.
Yeah, and
it's a distinct possibility.
Look, playoff appearance is clearly an expectation. When you go 13-4 with a young team with an ascending quarterback, I don't think anybody, certainly inside the building, but anybody looking at this team who really follows it doesn't expect that. To me, the storyline for this season will be, do they follow up? Have not made back-to-back playoff appearances since 98-99. Yeah. Do they follow it up with a season where they are handling those contending expectations and look like a team that's going to be there 7 out of the next 8 years? Be a long-term contending team with a chance every year. To me, there's not that much difference between 11-6 and 13-4 and 14-3. I mean, there obviously is in terms of playoff stuff, but injuries can happen. But it needs, for the first time in a long time, to be a solid franchise that follows up something like last year with contending, and then you're going into 27. Yes, this is a solid, they haven't been that in 2.5 decades, Brian.
Listen, I'll go all in on this and tell you, there were one flag in Cincinnati from hosting the AFC playoffs. One flag. Now, things have to play out the way that they do, and you can't just blanket statement that. But I look at the best teams in the AFC, and I look at Denver and New England, and both of them have question marks about where they're at. They're not the Chiefs of old, right? I expect this team to contend in the AFC. I mean, I expect them to be there at the end this year for a couple of reasons. One, I think the quarterback is real. 2, I think that the roster is very good. I love the coaching staff's approach. I love the way that they've built this team. I think this is as good a team as there is in the AFC. Now they got to bear that out. They got to stay healthy. They need Travis Hunter all season long. Their quarterback does have to play at that high level. They've got to be better at running the football. They know all of these things. They've identified them. They have been very transparent with where they've worked to get better. I think this coach is terrific's not a strong enough adjective to describe his play design and his play calling and the way that he puts things together. Yeah. And I think this team is as good as any in the AFC. And I expect them to be in contention for the whole ball of wax.
And those should be the expectations. Everybody's talking about the losses. To me, there were no significant losses in the offseason that should significant enough to affect where this team is in terms of their power or their potential. And any expectations were created last year very legitimately by, if you're going down a list in the offseason of who you think the contenders in the AFC might be. Okay, you expect the Chiefs to be back. Broncos, Patriots, Texans, Chargers, Ravens, and Steelers, right? That group.
Seems like a reasonable list.
Well, they beat the Chargers, they beat the Broncos, they beat the Texans once, and the Chiefs. Every other team who's making these kind of lists, if they don't have the Jaguars on it, they're missing it. So they're one of those teams, and there's no reason you shouldn't have playoff expectations.
And I do think, this gets overlooked, the Jaguars last year won 13 games, Kai, and they didn't radically overhaul the roster. I mean, Liam and Baselli and Gladstone came in, and they brought in Robert Hainsey and Jordan Lewis and some guys. But, I mean, no one was pointing and going, well, that's what's going to get them over the top. They were really solid contributors all season long. But they took the roster that won 4 and they turned it into 13 on the strength of a vision, of a standard, of the way that they went about it. Now, this year, they did add some players and put some pieces in place through the draft that they think will significantly help them. They shaped this roster more closely to the one that they wanted, and I think that'll be a big difference for them this year.
Yeah, it's about consistency at this point, and what we've seen they've been able to do, continuing that, right? We see Trevor Lawrence finally, finding his own the last 2 months of the season, but now carrying that over into this season.
That's really huge, and it's a fair thing for fans who've been a fan of this team for a long time to go in with some breath holding going in, because you haven't seen back-to-back double-digit, make you feel good about the franchise seasons in 25 years. I have zero doubt that they're going to be that kind of a team, but they have to show it, and that's the huge storyline this year. After this season, you're looking at this and feeling like it did in the 90s, where it's like, okay, they're going to contend when they're on the, if nothing goes wrong, this should be one of the best teams in the AFC.
What was it that Liam said? I think it was at the owners' meetings, that they didn't want the stench of winning to overshadow, which I thought was a really interesting way to put it. Hey, you won, but you can't let that permeate. That was then, this is now. And he's been dogged and determined in keeping this team focused forward and not on what they did last year.
There's no talk of defending, that is for sure. It's all about attacking and seeing what they can do this season. So stay with us on Jags A.M. We're going to answer some of the fan questions after the break.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow. Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hey, Jaguars fans, if your money isn't working as hard as you are, that's not good enough. You've earned the right to expect more. Put your money on offense with a high-yield account from Everbank. Our Everbank performance accounts feature rates to keep your money performing, giving you the freedom and confidence you need to move the chains. So make the winning play and earn the W's you deserve. Start today at www.everbank.com/Jaguars. Everbank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The top-ranked rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report. Our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
This broadcast is O-Zone friendly.
O-Zone.
Welcome back to Jags A.M. Time for O-Zone Mailbag. John's going to share his wisdom with us and answer some of the fan questions. So we're going to start out.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
Right.
So Charles from Riverside has the first one. He says, it seemed the Jags got way better at eliminating all the pre-snap motion false starts and illegal formation penalties as the offense matured. So what does this pre-snap motion accomplish, and why is it such an important part of Liam Coen's system?
Yeah, this was sort of a tricky question because it's hard to answer something like this when the answer is sort of everything, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
part of it.
If the pre-snap motion that the Jaguars do basically tells the quarterback what the defense is going to do. And when you see them go to the line and Trevor's motioning the rest of the offense, they're not talking about dinner plans. You know, it is Trevor saying, okay, this is what we've seen. Now we're canning this play and going to the next play, or we're sticking with this play. The reason it was an issue last year early, everybody remembers, a lot of pre-snap penalties, everybody getting frustrated. And the reason Liam didn't go away from that is because it's really the offensive superpower.
That's who he is.
Without it, all of a sudden you're going to the line without that inherent edge of seeing what the defense is doing and calling a play toward that weakness. So without being snide about it, it's everything. And when you see Trevor making those cans, where they really liked his progress early last year was he was calling the right plays at the line very quickly. So it's everything. Even if they have tons of pre-snap motions or penalties, a lot of coaches in that situation last year would have tried to pull out of that. And I think Liam very much so and correctly was like, look, guys, we got to do this. This is going to make us very, very good. And it did. By the end of last year, you could see the results.
But Liam comes from the Shanahan tree, and back in the late 90s, you remember when John Elway was there in Denver with Mike Shanahan. I mean, they created mismatches with personnel groups like few other teams could, and I think I've said on the show a couple of times, I always like watching the San Francisco 49ers, pardon me, because the Niners and Kyle Shanahan do such great things with motion and create the kind of mismatches that allow them to take advantage. And I think that's what Liam Coen does. They're very simplistic, but they're trying to figure out where the greatest advantage for the offense is by getting Parker Washington, if they can, lined up on a slower linebacker.
Yeah, a scheme and play calling is not always the end all. But when you're special at something, which Liam is at this, it is something. And for Liam, the way he calls plays, you saw at the end of last year, there was high-end stuff going on. He's cutting edge of what the NFL is doing right now. And the pre-snap stuff is a big part of it, is why we're talking about it.
And it operates, as we've discussed before, so much autonomy is given to Trevor Lawrence to conduct this and make those calls at the line and getting everybody on the same page. So communication, they worked on it, looking better towards the end, and I imagine it'll look even better going forward.
I think that's maybe one real key that you see at the beginning of the season. How do you want it to look? That's how you want it to look. I'm sure Liam would tell you, look, we want it to look much more efficient pre-snap at the end of than it did at the beginning of last year, and I'd be stunned if it's not.
All right, Steve from Nashville wants to know, John.
Oh, well, let's tell him.
Are you aware of a list anywhere that shows the former Jaguars players who have went on to win a Super Bowl with another team? Seattle Seahawks kicker Jason Myers being the latest addition to said list, if said list exists.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a list, and this is always kind of a thing, Brian, that always kind of surprises me. Every time, and it sort of stems from 15 or 25 years of not achieving as much as the franchise as fans wanted, which stopped last year. Guys get cut from NFL teams these days because of free agency and salary cap, and they go on to other teams. Sometimes those guys go on and they contribute to Super Bowl champions. There's been guys, backup quarterback was a deal for a long time. Gabbert got a ring, Leftwich got a ring, Brunell got a ring. I've never considered this topic as big a deal as some fans do.
Yeah.
Jason Myers got a ring. I like Jason Myers. Good kid. Good for him. He can put it on his shelf.
I can tell you the first one. It was Desmond Howard, if you recall. The Jaguars cut him in 1996, and he signed on with Green Bay and won one the very next year. Josh Wells comes to mind. He left here and went to Tampa and won a Super Bowl ring with those Tom Brady teams. There are a handful of guys. In terms of premier players, it doesn't.
It's not like there's been a lot of guys go on that the team has released.
Yeah.
And
well, Jalen Ramsey
all of a sudden become a huge part of that next Super.
Right.
And Jalen was kind of the outlier on that.
Yeah.
So they've probably picked up more big free agents who've contributed really than I think they've lost over the years. I don't have a list, but it feels like that they brought in Calais, and Calais was, big time reason they won.
Yeah.
I can't remember that many guys who've gone on and been like huge reasons teams have been good elsewhere, but there's probably a list somewhere.
And Kyle Brady was a part of that undefeated Patriots team that lost in the Super Bowl, so it's happened.
All right, we're going to close this out with Josh from Green Bay. He says, what would you say is your favorite football quote? A few that come to mind for me are playoffs by Jim Mora, of course, just win baby by Al Davis, and of course, bam by John Madden.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. You play to win the game. They are what they thought we were, or
they are who we thought they were.
They were Dennis Green. I remember watching that. Those are the fun stuff. I was actually at the press conference where Jim Mora famously said playoffs, and I love Jim. So he was much more than that quote, but you get defined by those moments. My favorite is from offensive coordinator Tom Moore when I was with the Colts, where he famously said, hey, if we lose Peyton, we're not in good shape, and we don't practice not in good shape. And you can insert
the proper word,
dirty word. But so that's really the best one. I mean, and it summed up Tom of very meat and potatoes, very, hey, this is what we're doing. He was very real football. So that's my favorite. I'm sure there's others.
Well, listen, I mean, you could grab Vince Lombardi and just go, it's a laundry list of Lombardi quotes through the years.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I used to work at a CBS station in Kansas City, and I would stay late on Sundays to get the Mike Ditka feed from Chicago, because Mike Ditka was always good at every press conference for something. But I'll go with John McKay, the coach of the Buccaneers in their expansion season and for a couple of seasons after that. And he was asked at one point, because remember they lost 26 straight games before they won their first game. Mm-hmm. And he was asked about his team's execution. And he said, I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
Right? And then to follow up, he said, what do you think about your team's tackling? He said, well, we tackled poorly today, but we made up for it by not blocking. I mean, there's just just incredible stuff from coaches all the time. They're always these guys, especially the crusty old ones who've been around the league for a long time. They're always with these quips and one-liners, and you could write a whole book. I mean, 1,000 pages of NFL coaches' quotes. But I always thought that the guy who could kind of laugh at himself and his team, at the end of the day, kind of just a little quip here and there when things weren't good, was my favorite.
Yeah, my favorite player growing up was John Riggins, who played for Washington. And after a loss, they were really good, 83, I think it was. They lost to Green Bay 48-47, and after the game he said, sometimes you eat the bear, sometimes the bear eats you.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't give the Jets credit a ton, but I think I'm going to go with Herm Edwards. You play to win the game, because that's why you play. You play to win the game. Jaguars are taking part in mandatory minicamp right now. Fans are going to be filling the stands tomorrow, day 2, to get a chance to look at the team for the first time this season before training camp in a couple of weeks. So stay with us here on Jags A.M. We'll tell you the schedule for the rest of the week.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguar sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow. Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
My best friend Riley loved going to the beach. She was a great swimmer. Then one day, during a swim meet, she collapsed. She had cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. She spent months getting care at UF Health. The doctors did so much, even put her in a clinical trial. I wish we could go to the beach right now, but she's working. of the water. She's on lifeguard duty. Maybe we'll head out when her shift is done.
UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
Football may be in the offseason, but your appetite's still in midseason form. And at Daly's, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is smoked low and slow. Tender, juicy, and packed with bold flavor. I'm telling you guys, it's delicious. It's a heavy hitter. It brings game day energy to any day of the week. So fuel up like a Jaguar. And me with Daly's barbecue brisket sandwich. Daly's, big flavor, no off-season.
Johnstone Supply Wholesale provides HVAC contractors with Amana air conditioners, heat pumps, and furnaces homeowners trust. Built to be reliable, quiet, and energy efficient to provide indoor heating and cooling comfort year-round. Don't settle for less. Trust the experts. To find the right system for your home, locate an Amana Advantage specialist near you at johnstoneamana.com. That's johnstoneamana.com. This season, the road to kickoff starts at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. From Bay Meadows to Arlington to Westside, Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram is locally owned and proud to serve the First Coast with real pricing and a lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. And let's be honest, there's no vehicle better built for tailgating than a Jeep or a Ram. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Bay Meadows, Arlington, and Westside. 3 locations, 1 legendary team.
Jags fans, you can become a season ticket member and unlock exclusive access to ticketed events, members-only experiences, and priority for Stadium of the Future and more. Availability is limited this year because of construction, so make sure you don't miss out. Visit jaguars.com/tickets to secure your spot for all of the action this upcoming season. And tomorrow, the fans get a sneak peek as well because Minicamp is going to be open. There's 3 days of Minicamp, starts today. As we mentioned, a little bit longer of a practice, but the mornings of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, everybody's in-house, so we'll get to see everybody working together.
Yeah, and the Wednesday Minicamp open is a pretty cool thing. Not all teams do that. We haven't done it all the time here. So, again, this regime, as we call it, has been pretty transparent and tried to be fan-friendly whenever it can. So, pretty cool thing, Laura.
Yeah, and people who haven't been down here will get to see the construction at the stadium and how the steel is going up.
Yes, very open, very vocal. Come down, check it out tomorrow if you have the chance. If not, we'll have you covered on all of our shows here at jaguars.com. So check that out. We're going to head out right now and enjoy practice ourselves, but have a good week, guys.